Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Montu Motors, Oldsmar, Florida, because guess what? It's a big day for me, and I know that you're gonna love this as well. I have the first ever 1994 Subaru WRX STI. So let's talk a little bit about Subaru. Subaru, that brand that's really built its reputation with all-wheel drive, with its rally championships, rally wins, and everything that involves getting the optimum power to the ground really has been the basis for Subaru. One car that has allowed them to really showcase their full abilities and engineering prowess is definitely the WRX and the WRX STI. Now, when the Impreza, which is their compact car, first came out, it actually replaced the legacy as the car for the World Rally Championship, because in the 80s, it was all about the Subaru legacy. But as the rules changed, the Impreza became the go-to, and that's why they created the WRX and eventually the STI. The STI actually was unveiled back in October of 1993 as a 1994 model. What's amazing is that it goes all the way back to this time period where really we start to see the heritage of the WRX and the STI, that groundwork get laid down, and it's all under the same basis that's still true to this day. Flat 4, turbocharged engine, and that great all-wheel drive system. Now, people really look at these Subarus from the past, the GC8, as one of the most coveted of all, especially because they were not available here in the United States. You could not get an STI until 2004, a WRX until 2002. So with this car, it actually allows us now, because of the 25-year rule, remember, after a JDM car is 25 years or older, it now could be brought into the United States. Let's go ahead and dive into this one, this 1994 STI. You can see what the styling was going on with the GC8 chassis. I love those large circular fog lights. Really gives the car that rally look to it. And that's what really is amazing when you drive one of these. Yeah, you may drive it as a daily driver, whether it's a new one, an old one, or anything in between, but you're driving a car that was built for the rally stages around the world. All the way across the front, I like that very small, very distinct looking front end to the GC8, that early first rendition of the STI. You could see the Impreza badge, that I badge there, that is a JDM specific. Here in the United States, the Subarus never had that particular one. So if you see it on a car, either A, it's a JDM original, or B, somebody put that on to make it look like a JDM issued one. As we go up on the hood though, I love the headlights. Hood is one of the sexiest hoods in the business. 2 heat extractors and that functional scoop. Remember, with the Subaru stock from the factory, the intercooler sits on top of the engine. Because we use a flat 4, keeps that center of gravity very low. Intercooler sits on top. This is going to force feed air into that intercooler. And remember, for the STI, Subaru Technica International, that's the branch that was in charge of Subaru's rallying, and now today in charge of Subaru's motorsports program, because they do road racing and rally cross. Now, as we come around the bend, here is your stock wheel. Remember, we're talking 1994, so if you're expecting me to zonk this, I'm not. This is what was being used at this time. It is a 15-inch wheel, and if you're looking, it's 205 with 55 series on the sidewall, but very iconic lines, and I just love seeing that hood scoop popping out of the hood there. Really just a great look. If you notice, I'm gonna have Tom kind of show off his camera skills. There's that STI badge. So like I said, Subaru Technica International World Rally Championship. Remember, they won the World Rally Championship 3 separate times. Wonderful accomplishment. And that was by Colin McRae. Then Peter Solberg went on to win, and everybody else. So lots of different wins, championship-wise and rally-wise, for Subaru. Now, as we go down the side, the way that this car sits, that is that classic style of the WRX, of the Impreza, and the STI. This one is a 4-door version. The more coveted one is the 2-door. The 2-door GC8 is the really, really hot one. But coming down the side, you can see the classic lines. And then this is really another iconic piece of the puzzle, is the massive rear wing. So just like the hood scoop, Here is what was being run back in 1994 on the STI. Such an iconic piece on a car, and it's functional. There's that STI, Subaru Technica International, like I told you. And then to wrap it out back, very simple on the taillights. You got your WRX badge, there's the STI, WRX STI down here. This one has that exhaust single on the side over there. That is not a stock exhaust, but you know what? It's not a large, huge, just 5-inch can coming off the tip anyways. It actually has a nice look from the back. But why don't we go ahead, pop the hood, and check out that flat 4 engine. All right, guys, we got the hood popped on this original 94 STI. There is that flat 4 engine. So what you're looking at is a 2-liter engine, flat 4. That means the pistons, the reason why they call it a boxer engine, the pistons are going back and forth horizontally like boxing gloves. I really love at the top here how you can see the intake plenum, just like on your new STI. Your intake plenum, you can see how the intercooler is sitting here, and a massive strut tower brace. If you're wondering why is the intercooler kind of crooked, that's so that they could get the engine as close to the firewall as possible. That's going to help with weight distribution of the car. Already that flat 4 sits so low in the chassis, but I love the handcrafted emblem there on that belt guard. And Tom is going to show you that this is one of 200 that were produced in 1994, number 90 to be exact. But you have that 2-liter, 247 horsepower. It's all going to a 5-speed manual transmission, and of course the power is getting laid down to the ground by all 4 wheels. But it's nice to see a car this old that still has all the originality, that patina on it. Somebody didn't go and change out a bunch of stuff. It's all original, and that is the wonderful thing. It's almost like a time capsule, being able to open this and see what it was like back in 1994 for the Impreza. But why don't we go ahead, you've seen under the hood, let's go ahead and fire this up and see what it sounds like. All right, guys, we're inside the 1994 Subaru WRX STI. If you're wondering, well, Joe, I like what I'm seeing. What is the price on this one? The price that Montu has it listed at is around $18,000. That is brought over for you, ready to rock and roll. The car, you'll see, it fires up right on the first turn of the ignition. But you can see the originality going on here. All original AC controls. The only thing that's been swapped out right here is the sound system. That is something that, especially back then, Subarus were notorious for not having the greatest sound system, so no surprise to see something like that. You got your 5-speed manual transmission. You have the original shift knob. Now, it's very worn, but that, like I said, that's patina to it. The throws are longer, but you know what? They're very crisp on the engagement. You can see it's got the little pattern down here for that 5-speed, your good old-fashioned e-brake. And then these seats are STI specific seats. You can see the embroidery work, the stitch work, and they have really high bolstering for a stock standard seat, but they're actually really, really comfortable. And that's something that always is nice to see in a car, especially if you're gonna maybe try to drive it a little bit more often. But why don't you come over to the business end, because there's some surprises over here I wanna point out to you. All right, guys, business end, obviously this being a JDM, you're sitting on the right-hand side of the car. So you can see the door panels, the switch work, lots of plastic, but I'm telling you, Subarus back then were not known for their fancy interiors. Nothing but the business. What I love is this has the original Nardi steering wheel. You can see that from Italy. It's got the STI logo on it. There's our instrumentation, very simple to the point. Redline 7,000 RPM out of that 2-liter flat 4 engine. Here's another thing, look at that. What does IC stand for? Intercooler. That's your intercooler water spray. This has not been seen on a Subaru since 2008, believe it or not. But guess what? It's coming back this year. What car? The S209, you are correct. But that is for you to be able to spray nice cool water on that intercooler to help cool the charge, to give you a little bit more power. You got a good old-fashioned analog boost gauge that has been prominently placed right here on the gauge hood. And really, seating position is great in here. Pedal box is a little tight, but you know what? Look at this. Heel, toe, downshift all day long. That is really what this car is about. The engagement, that raw sensation of going through a 5-speed and really feeling everything about the car. Let's go ahead. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's take this STI for a spin. All right, guys, we left Montu Motors. We're in the 1994 Subaru WRX STI. I tell you, this car, being 25 years old, it's still so tight together, like not a rattle. The engine idles so nicely. The boost, you have to wait, but once those RPMs climb, that boost kicks in. Shifter, even though for 1994, it's like rowing a boat, you do have a nice engagement. When I put it into third, I could tell immediately I was in third, and it felt good. Clutch modulation is great. Really, this is the true essence of driving. When you have that originality from a car like a 94 that still is put together so well. They were doing something very, very special in Japan with all the different products of cars, whether it's a Supra, a Celica, a WRX, an STI, so on and so forth. But you can see I'm sitting here at a light. Temperature gauge is right smack dab in the middle, and it idles like a pussycat. All right, guys, just to show you, we're driving down this stretch of road here, nice and smooth. Right now, I'm doing about 80 kilometers per hour, not 80 miles per hour, 80 kilometers per hour. And really, I mean, look at this, my hands are off the wheel and the car tracks nice and straight. I mean, it's that good. And that is the great thing about this particular car. Number 90 of just 200 ever made for 1994. I look out over that hood, I see that familiar hood scoop. I got the boost gauge prominently displayed right there on top of the gauge pod hood. And just, you're driving an icon, you're driving a legend. And it feels good, it really does. All right, guys, we're in the Subaru STI. We're now gonna go down a nice little twisty road, feel that engine, feel that all-wheel drive, feel that transmission. I am gonna take it a little gingerly because the car is 25 years old, but here we go. Third gear, on the boost, on the brakes. Really nice, really nice. I tell you, it's amazing how once that boost starts really coming in, you can really feel it put you back in the seat. All the way up to 7,000 RPM, very, very nice. Downshift into third, nice and gingerly. Really, really nice, really, really nice. This is what driving's all about. Getting on a road where you get some bends and you're doing your thing. I tell you right now, this engine is so strong. Coming out of those bends, getting on throttle, feels really, really good. Car feels really planted. It's got 105,000 kilometers on it. So not a spring chicken by any means, but still running nice and strong. All right, guys, second gear, rolling on throttle, waiting for the boost to build. Really feels nice. I love the sensation in this car. Just like a lot of the other JDM legends that really Montu Motors is bringing over to the States for us to enjoy, for you to possibly get and park in your own garage. It's just a blast. No airbag, none of this other fancy technology that we have today. Just good old-fashioned 3 pedals, a shifter, and a steering wheel. And then of course that flat 4 turbocharged engine with all-wheel drive. See that sign up there that has a nice little wiggle to it? Those are the signs I live for. Drop it down into third. Really nice. Here we go. On the brakes. The steering is so like engaging. I mean, it is spot on the money when we're talking about feedback here. It's right on point that as soon as you initiate turning, you're going, you're turning. Nice little transition here, really nice. So by far, this has got to be one of the most feedback-driven JDM classics that I have piloted to this date. Comparing that with the Supra, the GTRs that we've driven, the Celica, GT4, this thing feels so, you feel so connected to it. It's like my frontal lobe is connected right to the steering wheel. It's unbelievable, the sensation. Really nice. And with the all-wheel drive, makes you a superhero. But hopefully this gave you a little bit of fun drive and feedback on what this car is all about. We're gonna wrap it up and get back to Montu Motors, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been one heck of a day here at Montu Motors. Definitely gotta thank Sam, Jack, and Jeremy for allowing us access to this. This is the first one that they brought into the country, because remember, do the math, 25-year rule, this being a 1994, it is now time for the first edition STIs to come to the country. If these are the types of things that you like to see, these original JDM cars, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Radies Rides family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you here on Radies Rides, click the link in the description, takes you right to Spreadshirt. Got to give it up to Big Guns McGee. He's loving these little rally cars. The seats were a little tight for him, but you know what? He's not gonna get any smaller. He's just gonna keep getting bigger and bigger and bringing home the gold every time. So thank you, Tom, for all your hard work. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.